Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Wendy for those of you who don't know me, and now this week we are talking about where our money goes. So this is part of the money management series. On a Monday I do business videos, on a Wednesday I do sort of lifestyle videos, and the series that we're going through at the moment is the money management series. So for those of you who don't know, I really struggled with money for a long time. I got into debt, and I just didn't have a good grip on my financial situation at all. You know, I'm talking about like the day-to-day finances, you know, not like long-term investing and things like that, just the day-to-day, making sure that I was spending less than I was bringing in, okay, so that I stayed out of debt, or got myself out of debt and then stayed out of debt. So today, the thing that I want to talk to you about, which is something that really helped me on my own money management journey, and that is knowing where your money goes. You know what? I used to hear this all of the time, you know, you've got to know where your money goes and all that sort of thing. And I think, yeah, you know, okay, I sort of like do know where it goes. But the reality was I had no idea where my money was going. And so it's really important to just sit yourself down, create that budget. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It's just for you. Make a budget that you know that you have to pay your rent or your mortgage every month. You have to pay for electricity, the gas, petrol in your car, birthdays that come up, haircuts, vets fees or whatever, you know, for the grooming and all that kind of thing. I've got a very expensive dog that cost me a fortune. And yeah, he's looking at me, he knows I'm talking about him, and he's worth it. But you've got to know where every penny goes. Now, I say that with a bit of a cringe, because I still don't know where every single penny goes, but this is the way that I deal with that. All of my bills get paid straight from the bank. I set everything up. Anything that I can set up automatically, I do. I also have yearly payments, things like the car MOT, the servicing, insurances, that I try to pay as a one-off payment every single year. It's much cheaper that way, guys, rather than paying monthly. So I have a list of things that I have to pay every year and when they're due, and roughly how much they will be. So they are not unexpected payments, and I have a savings account where I put money into that every single month to be able to cover those one-off expenses. Then on a weekly basis, I have a food budget which comes out of my bank, because I shop online, because I've just found that it saves me a lot of money. So that comes straight out of my bank, and I always have enough money to cover that. I then have £100. I'm not going to sort of go into everything that I do. So I use cash envelopes for certain things. Like I have a cash envelope for things like Christmas, birthdays, paying for things for indie, haircuts, eating out and cinema, that sort of things, and holidays. I either have them in cash envelopes or separate savings accounts online. But in my sort of purse, my day-to-day living expenses, I have my grocery allowance that comes out of the bank, and that's basically anything that comes from the supermarket. And then I have a set amount, at the moment, because I'm sort of like trying to sort of like save really hard, I have a budget of £100, and that is for anything else. That's for the extra trips to the supermarket. That's for going out for coffee with friends. It's for buying little bits and bobs that are not sort of like groceries. You know, if I want a new lipstick or anything like that. Car parking, all that sort of thing adds up as well. So I have that, but at the beginning of every month, I have £50 in my prepayment card account. I use Monzo. I'm not getting paid for saying that. It's just the company that I like. I make sure that there's £50 in at the beginning of the month, and it's attached to an app. So I'm not, you know, that's money that's set aside specifically for me. And it's attached to an app, and I can see every single purchase that I've made throughout the month. It's really fantastic. I really love it. The one that I use is Monzo, but I'm sure there are other cards that do the same sort of thing. So that for me works better than cash in a lot of circumstances, because I can track it. I can track that really easily. So that leaves me with £50 cash at the beginning of the month. And that is really all I have in my purse right through the month. And obviously that, depending on what I'm spending it on, that goes, drops down over the month. But in all honesty, that £50, I don't know where it goes. I couldn't, even at the end of the week, I couldn't sort of sit down and say, okay, right, well, I've now got £30 left. So I spent £20 on something. What did I spend it on? I'd probably have a vague idea, but not really. But the thing is, I budget for that. Okay, that is my £50 cash allowance that I can spend on absolutely anything. Now, if you're on a really super tight budget, then you probably won't have that £50 to spend on anything. Or for me, it's the £100, so I split it between the two. But for me, that is £50 of miscellaneous spending that, although I don't know what I'm spending it on the individual things that I'm spending it on, I know that that was my cash money. Okay, so in that respect, it's fine if I don't know where it goes on. But the rest of your money, you need to know where it's going, so that then you can look at it and think, hey, do you know what? I'm spending way too much money on takeaways or eating out, or I need to cut back on the amount of times I go to the cinema, or I need to really cut down on the amount of books that I'm buying, or music downloads that I'm buying. Whatever the case may be, you can see then. And from there, you can take every single regular payment, or even the yearly payments. You can take all of those payments one by one, and you can say to yourself, can I reduce this amount? So for me, last year, I got really, really serious about reducing my bills, like my telephone, the internet, my energy supplies, my water. It's always worth giving these companies a ring and just saying, I'm on a really tight budget. Is there anything you can do? Can you offer me a better price? If you have the ability to shop around, find out what the other companies are charging for the same sort of service, and then go back to your company. This is something that I found really, really powerful. Go back to your company and say, hey, I've been with you for quite a long time, and I know that I can get a cheaper service for the same service somewhere else. What can you offer me that is going to match that? And do you know what? 9 out of 10 times it works really, really well. Okay, you're not then saying, if you don't do this, I'm swapping. But you're saying to them, look, I want to stay with you. So what can you do this for? I did the same with insurances, because what I used to do was, my car insurance renewal would come and I'd just accept it. But, phone the company up that you're already with, ask them for a better quote. Also shop around with other people and see what quote you've got. This year, for example, I got my renewal letter for my car insurance, and I thought, that's really quite high compared to what I was paying last time. So I shopped around and I managed to get a full year of car insurance, and it was a better policy for me. And a full year of breakdown cover, and the breakdown cover was also better than the breakdown cover that I originally had. So in that price, the breakdown cover ended up being free when you work based on what I was paying the year before. So I got a full year of breakdown cover absolutely free, and I paid less for my car insurance than I was paying even the previous year. So if I'd have just gone ahead and accepted that renewal, I would have been paying somewhere around I think I worked out it was just over £200 a year more for my car insurance than I am paying because I shopped around. So, you know, it is worth it. Yes, it takes some time. Yes, it takes being a bit gutsy on the telephone sometimes. And, you know, that's not something that I'm always very good at, but it is so worth it. Do you want the money to be in your bank or your purse, or do you want it to be in the insurance company's purses or the electricity company's purses, you know, bank accounts and things? So that's definitely something to do. You know, definitely start off. Make sure you know where every single penny of your money goes. If you're like me and you find cash, you know, you can't track it, then allow yourself a set amount each month, and you know that that is your miscellaneous spending that you don't have to track, okay? But keep it to a small amount as possible. Then when you've got everything in place, go through every single regular spending that you have and just say, how can I cut this back? You know, maybe if you go out for loads and loads of meals every month, then maybe you can sort of like see about finding a restaurant that's still nice but cheaper than the one that you pay, because you know there is a huge range of restaurants, and you know most of them are very good, but you don't have to be paying top dollar, you know, for every single meal out that you go for. And also you can look at sort of inviting friends around to your house rather than, you know, and saying to a few of your friends, you know, hey, you know, money's a bit tight at the moment. How about we do, you know, a few weeks where we just meet up at each other's houses? You know, you don't even have to have a meal. You know, just try and get creative. It does take being creative if you really want this to work, but it's so worth it. Okay, so I need to shoot off now. I'm heading out, and I really hope that you're finding this money management series helpful, because I hated being in debt. I hated that feeling of not being in control of my money, and I felt like my money was, the financial situations were controlling me, and that put me in a really bad place. Emotionally, I put a lot of stress on me. So I don't want you guys to be going through that, and I want you to know that there is a way out if that is where you're at. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if these videos are really helping you, and let me know any tips that you have, because this is still a learning process for me. Okay, I'll see you all next week. Monday business videos, and Wednesday it'll be more of the money series. Okay, see you soon. Bye.